well, that worked. So here's what's going on. As you guys know, I like to do drifting quite a bit, but it's been a while since I've done it, and that is no good. So, what I'm gonna do today, since I'm feeling like drifting so bad, is I'm just gonna go drive out right in front of the house, rip the Ebrake as hard as I possibly can, and pull a fat drift right in front of my neighbors. Let's do this. Wait, what the f- I think something might be wrong with the Ebrake. Let's test it out one more time. Okay, so obviously back in the car, that did not work. So what we're gonna do to test the Ebrake is, I have it parked on a hill here. I'm gonna set the Ebrake full lock, take the car out of gear, and see if the thing stays or if it rolls. Car is in first gear right now. The Ebrake, just to prove to you that I'm setting this thing hard, all the way up, it's hitting the armrest. I'll even move that. Okay, I pulled it so hard, the boot came out. So Ebrake is obviously set. Let's take it out of first gear, foot off the brake, and see what happens. So I've known that my Ebrake doesn't really work since I bought the car, and I set it was way loose, and if I was ever parked on a hill, I had to have it in gear. Now I live in a place that has a lot of mountains and a lot of hills. I know some people think it's fine just to leave it in gear or just to set the Ebrake, but I personally like to do both when I'm on a hill because Ebrakes can fail and gears can pop out. A couple days ago, I was meeting some friends up at a park, parked my car on a hill, and all I could do was just imagine how my car was gonna pop out of gear, Ebrake doesn't even work, it was gonna roll down a hill, probably roll over and kill a few children, and then crash into the most expensive car in Utah. So for two reasons, for being able to park with a peace of mind, and for being able to initiate drifts and scrub some speed while staying sideways, we're gonna adjust this Ebrake, and I'm gonna show you guys how to do it. Now, of course, once this is all done, to test it out, we're gonna go to a parking lot, and then I'm gonna rip the Ebrake as hard as I can and see if we can't get sideways this time. So I'm gonna park the car on some flat ground, and let's get to it. So obviously, there's a disc back here and not a drum, but inside of the disc, about right here, on the inside, is basically a drum. So this is two brakes in one, a disc and a drum. When you push the pedal, it uses the caliper here to brake on the rotor, but when you pull the emergency brake, two shoes on the inside of this drum go outwards and press out against the inside of the drum. So that's how the Ebrake works. Now as you can see, or not be able to see, I have the car off the ground and the Ebrake is not set so that I can turn the wheels. So first step on getting this done. First thing you have to do before you tighten anything else is to get in here, pull the boot off. This cable goes to the Ebrake on the right side, this one goes to the left. You can see this one's way loose already, which is probably why I heard some rattling in here and probably why it wasn't working that well. This side we have to loosen, so you want to loosen both of these so that they're slack. Done. After you loosen both of those so they're slack, then we move on to the back wheels. What you need to do is take out a lug stud. See how all of them are in there and this one's out? And you turn the wheel until you can see, well, it's probably not going to show up on camera, but you turn the wheel until it lines up with the hole that you can get to the adjustment screw from. Scratch that, it's a little hard to see that, even in the middle of the day, so I'm just going to take the wheel off. There we go. The easiest way for me to show you guys where to align this is just basically draw a line between the center of the hub, a lug hole, and then a hole for this little bracket here. So if you line those up, you're pretty much going to hit that little sprocket I'm talking about in there. As you turn this, as you rotate this, you'll see a spring start. Keep following that spring, and then you'll see kind of like what I said, looks like a gear or a sprocket in here. So how you adjust that is put the screwdriver in there, flathead, touch the teeth, rotate it like this, lift it up, and just do that over and over. I was able to get the other side done without having to take the wheel off. That's still not a very good view, but in there, okay, you can kind of see the spring right now that's lit up. Just to the right of that, there's those little teeth in there. Now, how much do you want to adjust these little adjustment screws? Well, you adjust them until you can't turn the wheel anymore, or the rotor if you have the wheel off. Once you can't turn it anymore, back it off a little bit, and then you should be good to go with that. Now that we have the shoe set on both sides, we have to get in there and adjust some cables. So the next step is now to grab your handbrake, click 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and that's where you want to leave it for the adjustment now. So basically what you do now is just tighten both of these a little at a time, and then just keep going back and forth to the wheels and testing them as you're tightening these. You just want to tighten them while this is up 4 clicks until you start to feel some resistance on the wheels. At that point, you should be done adjusting. So I put the wheel back on this side just so I can test the weight and resistance evenly on both. Okay. One more time over here. I'm going to tighten the right side just a little bit more, and I think we should be perfect. That seems to be pretty even now. What we have to do now is just to tighten these little things down against those real nice and tight, and then we're going to go test this thing out. Just in case you're wondering, the 2 sizes of those nuts on there were, I believe, a 9 and a 12. But check this out. Before, you remember how we were maxing this e-brake out so it was hitting this thing and ripping the boot out? Check it out. See how much room's still left? I'm pulling as hard as I can right now. You can even hear it working with the shoes in the back, kind of squeaky. Before we go driving, we're actually going to put it back up on the driveway and try that test on the hill again. My guess is it's not going to roll anywhere, but let's test it out to make sure. I should probably set the e-brake. Whatever. The moment of truth. Will it roll? I mean, in most cases, I usually want my car to roll, but in this one, no. I have it parked in first gear. Emergency brake is on. What I'm going to do now is remove it out of gear. My foot is on the brake. Now I'm going to take my foot off right now. And we're not moving anywhere. Looks like it worked. Now real quick, let me go over those steps again in case you're at home tightening your e-brake, just to make this more simple for you. So first, you want to loosen the cables. Then you want to go out back, make sure the car's lifted up, take off 1 lug stud, rotate the wheel till you can see through to the star screw where you adjust the shoes coming out. Tighten both of those so you can't turn your wheel, then back them both off a little bit, come back in here, raise the emergency brake up 4 clicks, tighten both of those cables until you start to feel some resistance on the tires, and then of course put your lug studs back in, and then you should be good to go. And now for the real test. Will it initiate a drift? Alright guys, so basically in the past, anytime that you have seen me drift or start a slide, it's always been done with, for the most part, just kicking the clutch, especially in second gear, or else doing a feint. So that means like turning to one side and then putting it into the other really hard to kind of upset the balance and get the back end to swing out. So what I've never done before in any car actually is initiate, holy cow, there's a big freaking branch on the road, man. What I have never done before in any car is use the e-brake to initiate a drift. I have used the e-brake a lot to just do a slide or a J-turn or something, especially when I was in high school. I had a front wheel drive car and I used to rip the e-brake all the time just to get the back end to slide out a little bit. When I say I've never used the e-brake to initiate a slide, what I mean is like I've never ripped the e-brake to start a slide and then powered over to keep it going. Right now what I'm doing is I'm heading to a lot of a business that I know is out of business. It's kind of a big open parking lot. Hopefully there's nobody there. If there is nobody there, what I'm gonna do is just test out how this emergency brake works. Now I can't guarantee that I'm gonna pull a good looking drift or even one at all, but either way, I just wanna test to see how well this e-brake works once we're rolling and if I can use it to initiate drifts. Now obviously the stock handbrake with cables is not the ideal way to use a handbrake to start drifting, but eventually I do want to do a hydro setup. We're just gonna have to make this work until I get that. So anyways, like I said, this will be the first time that I've ever tried this. You guys are gonna see it happen. Oh. Okay, so the lot that I was going to originally go to, there's a lot of cars here. I think they're turning this space that was out of business into something else, so there's going to be a lot more traffic this year, but I do see a lot of tire marks from when I was here last time. All right, you know what? I might just try this anyways. So this isn't gonna be a situation where I can stay here and play around for a bit. I'm basically just gonna rip the e-brake a few times and then get the heck out of here. So let's make this quick. Once I test this out probably just 1 or 2 times, and I'm gonna get out, run, grab the camera real quick, and then we'll get out of here. All right, so I think I'm just gonna get right into it. The first thing I'm gonna do is just rip it in first gear with the clutch in, pop the clutch, and then try to keep a spin going. All right, here we go. I'm gonna rip it in second gear now and see if I can do that real quick. Okay, it's time to go. I'm just gonna do one more quick, actually, e-brake rip so you can see the tires lock up right in front of the camera that's outside. Now it's time to go.
Let's get out of here.
Oh, dude, I gotta show you guys this real quick. Okay, so typically when I come to this place, or just any places like this, I like to come at night because there's a lot less traffic and there's less chance that there's gonna be people around. We're definitely have to go to a spot where I can actually stay there for a while, that's a little more open, and we can have a lot more fun. But I have a lot to do today, and tonight, we're actually gonna be heading out to the midnight drags. And you can basically run the drag strip as many times as you can based on how many people are there. They only sell 200 tickets. Jack and his 335 is gonna run. PK and his 600 wheel horsepower 335 X Drive is gonna run. And I'm gonna bring the camera so you guys can watch too. So basically today we're able to get the e-brake adjusted so I can park and not worry about my car rolling off and having a mind of its own. And we're able to just open up one more opportunity to have some more fun drifting. That sounds like a pretty good day to me. Now before we go today, I do want to mention that I did get a special package in the mail. Actually, I shouldn't say in the mail. The FedEx man brought me a special package. You can probably guess what it was, but if you still don't know, or if you do know and you're just excited to see, make sure to stick around for that. And like I mentioned before, if you're already subscribed to the channel and you don't want to miss an episode, or if you're new to the channel and you are subscribing, make sure to click that notification bell so that you don't miss an episode. I do want to thank you guys for joining me on another day of Treats on the Streets. I really appreciate you guys watching. If you liked the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up. Let's see, so if you are a first-time viewer and you want to subscribe, make sure to click this logo behind me to do so. And if you want to watch more Treats on the Streets, you can click these 2 videos here. And again, thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.